It's the Doublet Special Master.
Live and direct.
Breakfast with CubCamTV.
Trickstar Radio.
What's happening, people? We are back inside the building. Welcome back to Breakfast with KXVU here on the big bad Trickstar Radio as we jump into another edition of the Interview Hour, our daily interview section where we speak to different artists from around the UK and beyond about their journeys, the projects they're currently working on, and of course what is on the way. Today, I'm very excited to get into this conversation. We're talking to someone whose single we did play moderately recently, and it's had a massive response since then. Man Like 11's on the line. How are you doing, sir?
How you doing, man? I'm good. Thank you for having me on. Appreciate it.
Each and every time, man. It's great to get you on the line. I've been looking forward to having the conversation since it was locked in. And more than anything else, I'm really excited to talk about just the level of progression that's been going on in such a seemingly short space of time. Before we jump into that, though, I do want to get a bit of background. I love talking about people's kind of journeys and things on this section of the show.
Yeah, sure.
So do you want to talk me through the last sort of 6 months or so for yourself? Because obviously it's been a crazy period for the industry in general. How's things been for you?
Well, to be honest, yes, it has been a bit crazy, to be honest. If I'm honest, though, this song and the creation and all of the bits attached to it kind of came into place about 12 months ago, roughly around this time last year, to be honest. I connected with IO Beats, who's the producer on the song. And he's someone I've known for quite a while, but we've always been kind of trying to work together, but we never really got a chance to. So around this time last year, I went and saw him. We had a few meetings. We had looked at a few things, and this song was basically born out of that kind of collaboration.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then obviously once we'd all put it down, it was kind of the question of who we wanted to kind of feature on it, because I felt it from as soon as I recorded it, really, I felt that this was going to be a big song for me. But
Definitely.
I don't know what it is. It just felt really good. It felt really right. Everything kind of fell into place at the right time. And from an audio perspective, it felt strong to me. So we reached out to a few different artists in relation to the song, just some people that we had some relationships with prior to that. And Vic was one of the people that came back the quickest, if I be honest. And he was one
It's always a plus.
Yeah, exactly. And he was probably one of the ones that came back, and I really liked what he'd done on it as well. He kind of really complemented what I'd done on the track, and it all seemed to fit really nicely. So really, the last 12 months, I don't know if your listeners know anything about the music game in its details, but there's so many different little hurdles and little things you need to cross off and do before you can have your single in the position that you want it and sounding and looking how you want. So really the last 12 months has been doing stuff like that. So obviously getting the videos sorted, which took a little bit of time as well. Getting the song mastered and mixed, which took a bit of time. There was a bit of going back and forth, getting all the different promotional bits attached to it. So, and obviously the downside of that was the artists that I'm working with, it just so happened at this point in time, they were really busy themselves. So Vic has really built a massive online presence for himself over the last 12 months, has really become a mainstay in the online culture. And IO Beats, again, released a song not too long ago that done over 1 million views and is doing really well in the streaming, and obviously produced for Wes Nelson. So, the people around me are really, really busy, and it's in one way it's really good, but the drawback to that was it took me 12 months to get the song from its completion, to its completion. So yeah, that's really all I've been really doing.
It's really interesting to hear how long you spent on the single tune as well. Like, to kind of when you're going through that, I get the impression of that you do have like a level of perfectionism that you want to be hitting with projects. You want to make sure you're doing things the right way, I presume.
Well, yeah and no, really, because that thing you just mentioned, perfectionism, it can be a real massive drawback, to be honest. But this song really it's the first time I've ever worked in this way on a song. I've never really spent this much time on a song. I've never put as much thought into the writing process. I've never put as much thought into the instrumentation of it. Like, everything we done on this song was done specifically for how it came out. There was a complete vision for it, and we got really, really close to it. But it wasn't really it wasn't really about the level of perfectionism. If it was up to me, this song would have been out 7-8 months ago. As the artist, the minute I recorded it, I was like, I'm ready, you know. But I tried to. This was probably the first time I tried to follow a really industry pathway. So I tried to do everything from an industry perspective. So even to do with the features, even putting the music out, even setting up the promo, everything was done kind of in line with what artists that are signed and are in the kind of music corporation would have done. It obviously took a bit longer because I'm doing it from an independent point of view, but I tried to do everything in that way. So, you know, radio, the audio stuff, my promotion, getting my online stuff all in line and everything ready for it, doing the necessary promo before we put the song out. All of that was what basically took the time. And if it was up to me, as I said, I would have had this song out a long time ago, but I had to be patient and I just can't kind of follow the direction I was given.
100%, man. And I think the results from that kind of commitment, I suppose, to I hate the phrase "follow the process," but that kind of commitment to that kind of commitment to it. Now we're looking around at the results of this, and the tune itself is doing crazy from like a video standpoint. I had a little look earlier today, 118k after 2.5 weeks over on KXVU. Like this is a really, really sort of high-ranking sort of release for such a short space of time. Obviously, you've been working on it for so long. It's been sort of in not necessarily the backbones, but it's been in your sort of primary vision, I suppose, for a long period of time. Yeah. Even with that, did you expect it to do this well?
I don't know if you can say expect. You know, I think the word hope is what you use really with anything to do with art and anything creative. You know, there's been so many situations in the past where I've been 100% that this is the one and this is the song and this is how it, and you know, and been really confident in how I think people will take it. And for whatever reason, a multitude of reasons, it doesn't really go like that. So I think with the amount of work we put in, and you know that old saying of you get in what you put out. So, sorry, you get out what you put in, sorry. So, you know, it has really been that. It's just been the level of work that's been put on it. I'm hoping and I'm kind of fingers crossed that people really kind of get some level of attachment to it based on that, based on the work, based on the fact that we worked on it, on the writing, on the music, on the instrumentation, on the promo. With all those things, when you work hard on something, you really hope that people hear it how you kind of envisioned it. But you know, I can't lie, the last 2 weeks have been a massive surprise for me. I think the amount of views that it's got is testament to the work we did put in, and 100%. Testament to the fact that the song is a good song, and I believe it's a song for all the ages. It's a song for all the weather. So it's a winter song, it's a summer song, it's a radio song, it's a club song, and it has all those ingredients in it, I believe. So, you know, I was quietly confident. However, you know, you just never can tell with how things work out. But I'm really, really pleased, over the moon, in fact, on the reception it's getting.
Awesome, man. I mean, this is the thing. Whenever I look at tunes that are exploding to an extent like this one is, it's always good to kind of see and learn about the process. And I'm sure, obviously, the people listening in will be really kind of, I suppose, almost surprised to hear about how much has actually gone into it, and then kind of thinking, well, that makes sense. Like the amount of stuff that's there. Obviously, the video is super clean. How long did the video actually take to put together? Because when you look at, like, I always find the process of actually putting music videos together so interesting, because it's not necessarily the creation of the song, it's the visual accompaniment. Like how did you find that as a process, and how long did it take?
Well, again, you know, just like I suppose any artist, once the song's done, you get all of these ideas of how you want the song to be represented visually, you know, and you know, you go through a lot of different ideas, and from the outlandish to the really simple and straightforward. And I think after doing a bit of brainstorming on it for a few weeks with the producer and with a few other people in my camp, we just kind of went for something that was really translatable in terms of the song itself. Even what you see now has been really kind of buttoned down a little bit, because it was a little bit more expansive when in my head at first. But it was just really, I just wanted to show that the sentiment of the song, the fact that it's to keep your partner safe and secure, and that's the whole sentiment of the song. It's about protection, it's about making your partner feel comfortable, it's about making your loved one feel protected. So I wanted that element in the song, but I wanted it to be as simple as possible, because all of the other expensive ideas that I had just took more time and more money, you know. So those budget issues being the case, what you see there is kind of like a really kind of scraped down version of the massive Hollywood thing that I had in my mind. But yeah, and again, just wanted to show the male-female connection, show the a little bit of storyline with it, and something that people could relate to with the song as well, like a real nice marriage between the two. And I think, give or take a few bits and bobs, I think we did pretty well.
No, I definitely agree, man. The video looks awesome. Obviously, the tune sounds awesome, and people are responding to both of those things. So obviously, the question that kind of follows this is, what's next in the pipeline? Because after like a year, I suppose, working on this single thing, have you even thought about what the next thing's going to be?
Well, I think for sure with what you just mentioned, I don't think I'll go through the process in its exact way again. I think it took as long as it took on this particular process because I was coming into an industry kind of pretty new, kind of learning the ropes, if you like, kind of building my relationship with the producers, building my relationship with the marketing team and all of these people. So I think the turnaround was because of all of those factors. However, I think going forward, I don't think it's going to take me that long to put another project together. I think for me now, I think maybe an EP is probably the right way forward at the moment. I have a whole load of stuff that's already recorded. But it's just really this song was really the kind of yardstick for everything for me, you know, because in the past I've released so much music on different types of sounds and, you know, just experimenting with the music and experimenting with my sound. So this song, finding out kind of what people's thoughts on it, on a male perspective, on a female perspective, that's really, the data was what was really important with this song, because that's what I'm going to be using to input into doing my projects following on to this. So I think probably another single, quite maybe in the next 2 or 3 months to get that out. And within that same period of time, I'm going to try and get like a small, maybe 4 or 5 track EP, and then with another couple of features on there as well. I think roughly that's where I'm looking at. If that gets bigger in terms of maybe an album, I can't see myself doing an album just yet. I think I just need to put a few bits of content out there. As I said, because a lot of people are still trying to figure out who 11 is, so I need to kind of make sure that that's attended to as well. So yeah, I would say in summary, maybe in the coming next 6 months, an EP and definitely another single.
Fantastic stuff, man. Well, I look forward to hearing it, and obviously I look forward to getting into this tune this morning. It is the sounds of 11 with Safe and Secure, obviously featuring Vic Santoro. This one is an absolute corker of a tune. We're going to jump into it now. Dude, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the line this morning. Thanks for taking the time out of your day.
Love, thank you very much for having me. It's been a pleasure. Always
a pleasure, my friend. There we go. We're going to get into this one and then jump into today's edition of the Pull-Up 30. So keep it locked and don't go anywhere, my friends. This is Breakfast with Kovu here on the Big Bad Trickstar Radio.
This is Breakfast with Kovu, bringing you their morning flavours on Trickstar Radio.
Trickstar Radio.